Hi, hello and welcome to this video. In our previous video, we saw what variable scope is. Now just have a small recap of what variable scope is. The variable scope is the lifetime of a variable or the duration for which a variable is alive. So this is called variable scope. In this video, we are going to see about LEGB rule and types of variable scope. Now let's go into LEGB rule and see it in detail with the help of an example given in our book. The example given in our book is, it has a 6-statement pseudocode. The statement 1 has a variable x declared. The variable x holds the value outer x variable. The statement 2 is a display function. Here a function is defined. The function name is display and it has 2 statements inside the function. The statement 3, here also a variable named x is declared and the value inner x variable is assigned to the variable x. In the 4th statement, we have printing the value x. The value what is defined in x or assigned in x is being printed in the statement. And the next statement, again we are printing the value of x. And the 6th statement, we are calling the function display. Okay, now see how this pseudocode executes. When once the pseudocode is executed, the first statement x is equal to outer x variable get executed. The value outer x variable is assigned to value x. Once the statement gets executed, directly comes to statement 5, the print x. Here the value of x gets printed. So here which value gets printed is the statement 1 value outer x variable gets printed. We get the output as outer x variable because the another x that is declared inside display function is not known by compiler until the display function is called. So for now the statement 5 print x, the outer x variable alone is known for the compiler. So next the statement x get executed. Now here only the display function is get called. So once the statement is executed, the display function where we have defined, the control goes to the defined part. So display gets called and enters into the function display. Here we are again using a variable x. Now the value for x is given as inner x variable. And the next statement we are printing the value of x. So in this statement, as x is a local scope which is defined inside the display function, that value gets executed. So here in print x, the value inner x variable gets executed. So this is how the pseudocode get executed. So here the value, the variable that we are using in display function is the local scope. And the variable x that we are used outside the display function is a global variable or a global scope. So this is how the controller differentiates the variable even though we use the same variable inside the program. Now let's go into the topic LEGB rule and see what it is. In our book it is given the LEGB rule is used to decide the order in which the scope are to be searched for scope resolution. What does the statement mean? This statement says that before variable is linked or mapped with its value, it follows the LEGB rule. When we use the same variable inside a program, one inside the function and another in outer scope, this LEGB rule helps the controller to decide which variable value to be chosen. So it follows the LEGB rule and decides in which scope the variable comes, and then according to the scope the value is mapped and retrieved. So the LEGB rule helps to decide in which order or in which hierarchical order the variable should be mapped. Now, order of hierarchy is from highest to lowest. So in LEGB rule, the order is given in highest order to the lowest order. So The L has the highest order, E has the next highest order, then comes G, and the least is the built-in or B. So now you may get curious to know what this LEGB stands for. L stands for local, E stands for enclosed, G stands for global, and B stands for built-in. Now we said L stands for local. So this L, that is local, that is the scope defined inside a function or a class. So if we use a variable and if it is defined inside a particular function, inside a class, then it comes under local scope. Next is E, that we already said it is stands for enclosed. Enclosed, what does the word enclosed mean? Enclosed is nothing but covered or kept inside and covered, protected layer or something like that. So here, what does enclosed mean is the nested function. A function which is defined inside another function is called the nested function. So that nested function is called as enclosed here. Next is G, the global. The global is defined at the uppermost level. So the scope has a wider range, a little bit wider range than the local scope or the enclosed scope. This uppermost level meant a variable declared as global can be used anywhere inside that program. So throughout that program, a global scope variable can be accessed. That's why it is called as utmost level. Next is B. B is built-in. Built-in is also called as modules. Built-in means already defined, that is reserved words. All the reserved words are defined and explained inside built-in, or it is also called as module. So when built-in scope comes in, we are using the library functions here, and we have to include the header files or whatever needed for the reserved words to be executed. So that's why it is called as module. So this is what LEGB is. Let's see this one by one with an example program under the topic types of variable scope. This is an important 5-mark question. So mark this and study it. In types of variable scope, there are 4 types of variable scope, and they are: first one is local scope, second is global scope, third is enclosed scope, and the last fourth one is built-in scope. Let's see these types one by one. The first is local scope. As the name says, local. It refers to variable defined inside a current function. So whenever we use a variable inside a function, it comes under local scope. So first, the controller or the compiler checks whether the variable is defined inside the local scope or not. If it is found, then the variable inside the function is used, or else checks in the outer scope whether that variable is defined outside the function or not. So to understand this, we'll see with an example. In our book, a pseudocode is given. In this pseudocode, we have a function disp, and we have defined the disp function here. And inside a disp function, we are using a variable a, which is assigned a value 7 to it. And in the next third statement, we are printing the a value inside the disp itself. And we are coming out of the function, and in the statement 4, what is given is disp. Here we are calling this disp function. In the statement 1, 2 and 3, the function disp is defined. So once the disp is called, what should be done is given in the first 3 statement. Fourth statement, we are calling that disp function. So here it's where the actual execution starts. So when we execute this pseudocode, the statement 4 gets executed, and this statement calls the disp function. So it the controller enters into the disp function, and a value 7 is assigned to a variable a, and then a value is printed as 7. So this is how the diagrammatic representation is given. So here the inner box shows the local scope where a is declared. Once we come out of that local scope, the a variable no longer alive. So inside itself, the variable a is alive, or its scope is within the function disp. Once it comes out of the disp function, its scope is no longer exist, and if we try to execute or print the value a outside the function, creates an error and it says a is unknown. If we try to print the value a outside the disk function, it shows an unknown error. A variable a is unknown. So this is called the local scope. Hope you understood this local scope. Now let's come to global scope. So as the term says, global means throughout the program. A variable which is declared outside of all the functions in a program is known as global. If a variable is declared as global scope, that variable can be accessed from anywhere in the program, that is inside or outside of all the functions in a program. Let's see this with an example program. Again, we are using a same type of program that we saw previously. And here, initially we are declaring a variable a and initialize the value 10 to that variable. And again, the same disk function is used, and inside the disk function we have a variable a which has the value 7, and we are printing it inside the disk function itself. The statement 5 calls the disk function, and statement 6 print a is given. So once this pseudocode is executed, it goes to the first statement, a is equal to 10. The value 10 is assigned to a, and comes to the fifth statement. Disk function is called. Now the controller goes to disk function and executes and initialize the value 7 to a, and value a is printed. The first output will be 7, and the disk function got over and comes back to the next statement after the call disk function, and it comes to the sixth statement, and again we are printing a. Now here just notice that the a variable is being used inside this function also, but that a is no longer exist outside the function. Here the a is being printed, but the value 10 that we have defined outside the function, a global variable which we have declared as global, gets come into act. Now the value of a here is 10. So in this print a, the 10 is gets executed. So this is what global scope is. So in this program we have defined a value two times. One is outside a function, another one is inside a function. That variable that we have declared outside the function is a global variable. We can use it anywhere in the program. But whereas the variable that we have used inside a disk function is local to that variable alone. So when we call or try to print the value of a inside the disk function, it has a value 7. But once we try to print the value outside the function, outside the disk function, then it has a value 10. So it has a global scope. Here the variable a comes under global scope. So in the diagram that's given is it splits this program into local and global scope. Hope you can understand this with this diagram. So here a box is given for the disk function. So this is the local scope. Here the a comes under local scope. Whereas the way a which is declared outside this box is a global scope. So the a that is defined inside the disk function is local to that disk alone. That value will not be active outside that function. So once the control comes out of the display function, now the value of a will be 10, which is defined initially as global function, as a global scope. So this is what the local and global scope is. Hope you can understand this differentiator, the local and global scope. Next we see enclosed scope. We have already said the enclosed scope as a nested function. Enclosed scope is when a variable declared in a function can be used by an inner function within it. A function inside another function is called as nested function. For example, we try to see what a nested function is. We have a function A. Inside the function we have defined a function B. So this B is an inner function to the function A. So A is an enclosed scope and B is an inner function and which comes under local scope. This nested function is called as enclosed scope. Let's see this enclosed scope with an example. So here a pseudocode, the same pseudocode is given but with a small difference. Here we have two functions disp and disp1. So disp is the outer function. So in disp we have a is equal to 10. Now we are defining an inner function disp1 where we are printing a. We have not given a value inside the disp1 for a, but we are printing the value for a. In fifth statement, we are calling the disp1 function, and in sixth statement, we are printing the value for a, and in seventh statement, we are calling the disp function, which is the outer function. Now let's see the diagram which have been split, inner function and outer function. So when we try to execute the statement, the first disp function is called. So inside this box we are just defined, the function disp is defined, so it never gets executed. So the first statement that get executed is the disp, that is the call to the function. So this disp function is called. So inside the disp we have initialized a value 10 to variable a and comes to the disp1 call statement. Here the disp1 gets called and goes into the disp1. There we are printing the value a. As disp1 is inside the disp function, just note that disp1 function is the inner function to the disp function. So whatever declared or used in a disp function can be accessed inside the disp1 function. So here we are printing print a. So the value for a is 10 that we have initialized in the disp function. So the value for a gets displayed, that is 10. Now the control comes out of the function and the print a statement gets executed. Here the outer function value a gets initialized here and its value 10 is executed. So we get the value 10. So enclosed scope is nothing but the enclosed is a function defined inside another function. So whatever variables are declared in the outer function can be accessed in inner function also. This is what enclosed scope means. Next we see built-in scope. So built-in scope can also be said as modules. Built-in scope has the widest scope. We have already studied about reserved words in C++ in class 11. Int, float, public, private, cin, cout, etc. All these are the reserved words that are defined under header files. So each one, cin, cout are defined in iostream, math.h is another header file which has sine, cos, tan. All these functions are defined under math.h. So like iostream, math.h, string.h, so many header files are there. So this header files once included in our program, no error occurs. But if we fail to include it, error occurs. The header files are all stored in library. These library files called as built-in scope. So these built-in functions or modules come along with the software as a package. Therefore, they come under built-in scope or module. To understand this, let's see this with an example program of C++. Here in the C++ program, the first statement is hash include iostream. The next statement is using namespace std. And the next statement is int main and the open bracket for int main. What all statement comes inside these two brackets are under main function. So here we are initializing a variable abc as 10. And in the next statement we are trying to print that value of abc. So to print a value in C++ we use cout. So cout abc is equal to abc. Just here note down that the cout is the built-in function, that is it is a predefined function. When a cout is called, the controller or the compiler checks in whether the header file for this is included or not. If this header file iostream is included in our program, it goes to the library and see with that reserved word cout what to be done is checked inside the header file. So the program that is predefined inside the iostream gets executed and comes back to our program, and the value that is given inside the double quote gets printed as it is, and again we are printing a variable abc. So what it do is the value inside the variable abc get printed here. So in this program, we have used a variable ABC and we have printed the value of ABC using cout statement. We have not defined the cout statement, but the cout function is predefined inside the header file iostream. That's why we are including the header file iostream. Let's see what happens if iostream header file is removed and try to execute it. See, it produces an error that cout was not declared in the scope. Now computer or compiler cannot identify what cout is. So this shows that the cout is defined inside the header file iostream. So only if the header files are included, the compiler links all the built-in functions into the program. So no error will occur. So this is given as diagram in our book. So in our book we have given built-in or module scope inside a bracket. So this built-in or module scopes are the library files that are associated with the software. So only if this built-in or module scope is included in a program, the rest of the program get executed without an error. So that is why it is said built-in scope has a widest scope. So these built-in scopes are nothing but they are the packages or the library files that are predefined and included with the software that we are installing. So these are all about types of variable scope. So in this video we have seen about what LEGB rule is and the types of variable scope. In the next video we shall see about modules, its characteristics and its benefits. Until then, bye and thank you.